Story number 55, Sunset Romance. In the beautiful island country of Dakokana, there was a small-town college-age couple. Dakokana is a beautiful fictional country located on the equator and is made up of 10 islands. The country is around the size of Alaska. The year in this story is 15,18 AD. Dakokana is one of the safest countries in the world, and they have a good infrastructure. How the cost of living there remains affordable is that they are close to a continental mainland by around 800 kilometers, and on top of that, 5 of the islands have very good farmlands. Dakokana has a population of 20 million people, although 40% of their population live in their largest city, which is Tropic K. Tropic K is also the nation's capital of Dakokana, and that city is around the size of New York City. Dakokana only has 10 provinces, and each province makes up just one island. The names of the provinces are Tropical, Baylax, Orion, Olivia, Cargo, Carlisle, Roswell, Copper, Chalcedon, and Amethyst. The most popular sport in Dakokana is beach volleyball, and their largest sports league is the DBVL, which stands for Dakokanian Beach Volleyball League, which is a league of 20 teams, and each island/province has 2 teams, 1 team in each of the 2 conferences. The name of their championship is the Beach Bowl. The DBVL was founded in early 14876 AD, and their season runs its course from January through June. The young couple are Peter Hickory and Gracie Putworth. Peter is 24 years old, and he started pastoring a church just after he graduated seminary school in December of 15,015 AD. Gracie is 20 years old, and she graduated from high school 2 years prior. Gracie chose not to attend college because her dream career does not require a college education. Peter Hickory was born on October 8, 14993 AD, in the small town of Trinity Beach, Amethyst. He was baptized as a baby. He was born and raised in that small town, and he loved it. He loved playing around on the beach and in the ocean on almost every nice day. He even had beach bashes for birthday parties. He was raised in an upper-middle-class, humble family who is of the Lutheran denomination. Peter got saved on August 8, 15,005 AD, at age 8, which was just a solid 2 months before he turned 9. Peter's favorite food is kale slaw fish tacos, which is a really popular comfort food in Dakokana. The kale slaw is like coleslaw with kale added. The fish used on the kale slaw fish tacos is skin-on salmon. The Dakokanians love the skin on the salmon, which is why they never de-skin it. Peter is a fan of the Amethyst Whales, which are 20-time Beach Bowl champions, and are perennial winners. The 15,000 hens were an awesome time for the Whales because the Whales were perennial losers from 15,002 through 15,010, as they had 6 consecutive losing as they had 9 consecutive losing seasons during that time. 15,011 was the rebuild year, since the Whales were a second-round exit in 15,011, and then they won their 20th championship in the 15,012 Beach Bowl. Gracie Putworth was born on December 12, 14997 AD, in the medium town of Athanasius, Chalcedon. She was also baptized as a baby. Gracie spent her childhood living in Chalcedon, and then at the time she was 12, her family moved to Trinity Beach, Amethyst. The move didn't require a far travel because Poseidon and Amethyst are neighboring islands that were separated by just 106 kilometers. Racy's favorite food is the popular sardine cake, which are made by mixing together sardines, peppers, onions, mayo, coconut flour, and Old Bay seasoning. The mayo in Dakokana is always made with avocado oil or EVOO, because toxic seed oils are banned from Dakokana, due to toxic seed oils being highly processed, inflammatory, and very harmful to human health. When Gracie lived in her hometown Athanasium, she enjoyed playing in the backyard and went to the beach once or twice a month. She went to the beach less often during that time because Athanasium is a landlocked town that is a 45-minute drive away from the nearest beach, which is in the small city of Prominence. Gracie began playing on the beach and swimming in the ocean on almost every nice day after they moved to Trinity Beach. Gracie is a fan of the Poseidon Trojans, which are 7-time Beach Bowl champions. Despite also being perennial winners, the Trojans are perennial playoff chokers, as they have not won a Beach Bowl since 14989 AD. The Trojans lost 4 consecutive Beach Bowls from 15,002 through 15,005. Gracie remembers crying for days after the Trojans lost the 15,005 Beach Bowl. Gracie grew up in a middle-class Lutheran family. Gracie got saved on January 7th, 15,017. Peter and Gracie entered into a relationship in late January of 15,017. On Sunday, January 4th, Peter officially became the pastor of Faithful Community Lutheran Church in Trinity Beach. Amethyst, and he preached his first sermon on that rainy Sunday morning. Peter preached a sermon about why Christians shouldn't believe in superstitions, and he also refuted the superstitions behind the number 13, and also Friday the 13th. He also preached that the superstitions surrounding the number 13 are nowhere found in Scripture, which means that such superstitions are entirely man-made. He preached that 13 is not a bad number at all. On Wednesday, January 7th, it was Gracie's first conversion anniversary, so Peter took his girlfriend Gracie on a special conversion anniversary date to their favorite local cafe, which is called Overlook Cafe, which is on the Trinity Beach boardwalk. The cafe is owned by Peter's dad, Nathaniel Hickory. Peter enjoyed avocado toast topped with bacon and goat cheese, and a 400 milliliter coconut cardamom cappuccino. Gracie enjoyed avocado bacon egg bites with a 500 milliliter oil fat bites. Gracie is the photographer, and she took a day off that day to celebrate her conversion anniversary. After the cafe, Peter and his girlfriend enjoyed a beautiful time hiking at Trinity Nature Park for 2 hours, and they concluded their time there by enjoying a beautiful picnic for an hour. They sat at the picnic tables that are towards the park entry. They enjoyed talking about the theological views of their denomination and their personal convictions in different areas. For example, Peter is convicted against celebrating Halloween, and he therefore chooses not to celebrate Halloween. Gracie has a clear conscience regarding hair dyeing, so she dyed part of her hair red back in April of 15,012, and she has had brunette hair with tips dyed red hair ever since, and the red portion makes up around 40% of her hair. On Wednesday evening, Gracie sat in the second to front pew as Peter preached a sermon about the dangers of lukewarmness. He preached about how God is greatly insulted at lukewarmness, and how being a fence to others does no one a favor. He also used the analogy of, if you sit on the fence, then you will have stones thrown at you from both sides. On Saturday, January 10th, Peter and Gracie both went on a beautiful date to the Wales vs Trojans team at Purple Cove Park, which is located in Westminster, Amethyst, which is the home field of the Amethyst Whales. In the middle of set 1, the game really became a nail-biter that had fans on both teams sitting on the edge. In the middle of set 1, the Wales had a 30-11 lead, and each set is 15 minutes long. At the end of set 1, the Wales took it 50-46. In set 2, the lead never grew larger than 3, and then the Trojans took it 45-44. In set 3, the Wales took it 49-47. Throughout set 4, there was more action than there was in the previous 3 sets. There was 6 minutes left in set 4. The score was tied 28-28. Peter and Gracie sat alongside each other, enjoying their fish tacos. They both started having an adrenaline rush, just like the other fans of the game, because of how intense the game has been. The adrenaline rush got started at this time. The Trojans took it 51-45, which forced the extra sets, which is only 5 minutes long. During the extra sets, the fans' adrenaline rush was at its peak, as the game was very heated during this time. With just 30 seconds left in the extra set, the score was tied 18-18, and then the Wales made the game-winning spike that came out of nowhere, and the Wales took it 19-18 and thus won the game. After this, the Wales record rose from 4-0-0 to 5-0-0, and then the Trojans record fell from 2-1-1 to 2-2-1. In the DBVL, an overtime loss counts as good as a tie, since overtime losses are counted as half a win, due to the team being good enough to go to overtime but not good enough to win. Peter lives on his own in a beach apartment complex called Ocean View Apartments. Gracie still lives with her parents because she cannot yet afford her own apartment, as her photography business just got started in the middle of the previous month. On Saturday, February 14th, it was Valentine's Day, and Peter took Gracie on a beautiful Valentine's date to the part of the beach located next to a delta. They enjoyed a romantic picnic at dinner time so they could enjoy a beautiful sunset. Peter enjoyed fish tacos he prepared at home, and Peter also made sardine cakes for his girlfriend. They both enjoyed their dinner as they were beholding the beautiful sunset over the horizon. After the picnic, they enjoyed swimming. Peter was wearing orange and blue radiant swim trunks with a plain blue t-shirt, and then Gracie was wearing a black one-piece modest swimsuit. After swimming, they enjoyed a wonderful walk on the beach while barefoot. They took off their sandals and tossed their sandals in the trunk of the car just before going on the beach. The beach was not very crowded because most people were on Valentine's dates at restaurants, movie theaters, or bowling alleys. They left the beach at around 8:30 p.m. And then Peter went home to his apartment, and then Gracie went to her home as well. Peter watched the Amethyst Wales game on his 150cm TV. He had fun watching the game as he snacked on salted peanuts, and the Wales obtained a wonderful 3-1 set victory over the Bayvax Hawks. Gracie enjoyed watching the Trojans game with her parents on the 200cm TV her parents own. They had fun watching the game together, and they snacked on pork rinds. The Trojans defeated the Olivia Dolphins in a 3-0 set sweep, which was one of the only 2 sweeps that happened in Valentine's Day volleyball for the 2018 season. Of the 10 games played for Valentine's Day volleyball, 5 of those games went into the extra sets. 2 of them were sweeps, and then the other 3 were standard 3-1 set victories. On the morning of Sunday, February 15th, Pastor Peter Hickory preached a sermon about trials, temptation, and persecution. He preached about why Christians will experience three of those things. He also preached about what we must do during those times. He preached that we should rely on the Lord's strength to endure because we fail on our own strength. It was at that moment when Gracie realized what caused her to fall into the temptation to get drunk off of hard lemonade on the previous Tuesday night. She made the horrible mistake of relying on her own strength to resist the temptation to drink alcohol. Sadly, she fell into the temptation to drink alcohol on that night. On that Tuesday night, Gracie attended a party that she thought was going to have no alcohol. She was invited to the party by her friend Stacy, who is a non-believer. As soon as Gracie went to that party, she found out that she was wrong just 15 minutes after she arrived at the party. Then she was tempted to drink one of the hard lemonades that the party offered. After she was pressured into drinking one of those alcoholic beverages, Gracie sadly chugged 2 hard lemonades down. And just after that, she did that, she felt horrible about it. She left the party and then repented of the drunkenness. She ran home and then burst into tears after she laid on her bed. She prayed a repentant prayer to the Lord. Gracie struggles with the sin of drunkenness, but fortunately, she is on her way to overcoming that sin. Before she got saved, she was a moderate drinker who only did it around once every 2 or 3 weeks, which was still bad because drunkenness is a sin. After she got saved, she threw all of the alcoholic drinks she had at the time in the trash. As she listened to the sermon on the wonderful Sunday morning, she learned that she must rely on the Lord's strength to overcome temptation. And she must also rely on the Lord's strength to endure trials and persecution as well. After church, Peter and his girlfriend enjoyed a picnic at Trinity Nature Park. Gracie shared with Peter about what she will now do the next time she's tempted. They enjoyed the beautiful tropical breeze and the cloudy weather there was that afternoon. Then after the picnic, they went on a relaxing hike. Then they went kayaking on one of the kayaks provided by the park. The park visitors are instructed to leave the kayak at the loading dock when finished. Around an hour after they left the park, an intense thunderstorm arrived in the Trinity Beach. Peter enjoyed listening to the intense thunder as he was reading his favorite Christian novels. Gracie enjoyed making funny Christian memes and other innocent memes, and then posting them on social media during the thunderstorm. She loves doing that as it's one of her favorite hobbies. At the time she got saved, she deleted the old platform that had dirty memes, and then started a new platform with Christian memes alongside other innocent memes. Around 6 weeks later, Gracie was faced with temptation again after one of her unsaved friends invited her to a party, but fortunately, this time she relied on the Lord's strength to resist temptation. And after remembering Philippians 4:13, she called her friend Stacy and told her that she's not going to that party. After that, Stacy made fun of her in such a horrific manner. So because of this, Gracie decided to end the friendship now that she knows that bad company corrupts good character, which is what 1 Corinthians 15:33 teaches us. After that, she enjoyed a wonderful time at a Christian Space Museum with her boyfriend Peter. On Wednesday, April 8th, Gracie moved into her own apartment as she could now afford to do so, now that her photography business was returning sufficient profits that were enough for her to support herself in her own place. She moved into an apartment complex in a Trinity Beach neighborhood named Palmwood Park. Gracie is enjoying pursuing photography for a living, and on top of that, she now fully overcame the sin of drunkenness. On Thursday, July 9th, Peter and his girlfriend went on a wonderful 10-day vacation to Open Ray Resort, which is a popular resort in Carlisle, known for very stunning beaches, wonderful restaurants, 4 beautiful hotels, and plenty of entertaining activities to enjoy. The resort is located in the city of Openrhine, Carlisle, which is the second largest city in Dakota. They checked into separate hotel rooms and they enjoyed a beautiful time there. Peter loved the infinity pool the resort had to offer, and Tracy enjoyed the wonderful water slides, and they both also loved the fine dining. 2 days later, on Saturday nights, they went to Shelley's Seafood Shack. Peter enjoyed a beef bacon wrapped salmon with a side of asparagus, and Gracie enjoyed tallow fried crab cakes with a side of coconut flour buttery biscuits and a small amount of Old Bay tallow fries. The food culture in Dakota heavily favors natural fats and proteins over carbohydrates, since starchy foods like potatoes and whole grains are considered an occasional treat in Dakota, as such foods are only consumed around 2 or 3 times a month. On the other hand, the Dakotanians consume seafood and red meat daily because of how popular seafood dishes are in the country, and some of such popular dishes are surf and turf dishes, combining seafood with red meats. Peter and Gracie enjoyed a lot of amazing activities during their wonderful vacation.